I was very sad, and I think I started to tear up in the booth. Oh, Lauren must have been really uncomfortable. No, I have been waiting for this for a long time, and I do not want to sound like when all she does is freaking breathe. He's like my main husbando, and I love him so much. Like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Shocked to find out that Annie was the female Titan. I was absolutely shocked.
Now, coverage like no other. Bringing you videos from the event floor. You're watching convention coverage.
This is going to be the entire panel. It's just us going back.
We're just
going
to meander about movies. So,
yeah, exactly. Because I'm a big, huge movie buff.
Oh, thank you.
I love movies. I'm a big, huge movie buff. Yes.
Worst question of all time.
Don't. I know what you're going to ask me. Don't do it. Do you want me to say what the question is?
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Of course.
No! I cannot answer that. I will tell you guys this like 100%. I'm terrible at favorite questions. Why? Because my answer is always changing. It is always
that's
changing.
fine. I mean, if you got like a top 10, like I can tell you mine.
Tell me.
1981, Mel Gibson, The Road Warrior.
Okay, haven't seen it.
Favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
I even own an 81 original movie poster from it.
I like it. You're a collector.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Wars 77 A sheet, own one of those.
Okay.
Love Star Wars. I have an Indiana Jones and Last Crusade movie poster, autographed to me by Steven Spielberg.
So Last Crusade is your favorite?
Last Crusade is great.
Yeah.
I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. Temple of Doom was.
You know, a lot
Crystal
of
Skull we don't talk about.
We don't talk about that,
No.
but it's so funny because I actually asked my friend, I don't remember who it was, but I was like, "What's your favorite indie movie?" And they were like, "You know what?
Clerks? No, Indiana Jones.
Indiana
movie,
Jones
indie
movie." Yeah, and they were like, "Well, you know, people are gonna murder me for this, but I actually like Crystal Skull." And I'm like, "Then you're not a true indie fan.
Not at
Come
all.
on." No, Temple of Doom is definitely like hit or miss for a lot of people. That gave me nightmares as a kid.
The whole Mola Ram pulling the heart out.
That
Mola
and
Ram,
eating
Sola Ram,
the gorilla brains, the monkey
Yes, the
brains,
monkey
and the
brains.
snakes.
She ate the monkey's brains.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know what else scared me from Raiders of the Lost Ark was bad dates.
Yeah.
That scared me because the poor monkey.
Yeah, the poor monkey died.
Poor
right?
monkey died. It's like
he poisoned the dates. The monkey eats, and we lost a monkey.
I know, it's horrible. Hi, hello. How you guys doing?
We're just enjoying the show.
I know, right? There you go.
There you
It's
go.
true. It's true. Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
What do you think of the Transformers movies?
Which one?
Michael Bay?
The first one was fine. The rest are a train wreck.
You know, the first one I do remember kind of liking some things about it. It was charming.
It was nice to get a live action Transformers movie. And
Yes.
to get Peter Cullen out there. Autobots transform and roll out.
You can't go wrong with it.
Oh,
yeah.
Peter's amazing.
But I think the second movie, first of all, I didn't like how there was this ugly orange tint throughout the entire. I'm very much about lighting. Are you a fan of The Crow?
Yes.
Okay, I love The Crow.
Oh, it's amazing. If you have not seen The Crow, Brandon Lee, rest his soul.
So good, yes.
Amazing. 1995 thereabouts, 94, 95.
I think so, something like that. Yeah.
I've met James O'Barr. We've
Oh,
actually
really?
had him as guest as a show. He's a very depressing man, actually.
Oh.
Very nice, but he's definitely had a rough past.
And
The
who is
Crow
he?
was kind of his.
Who is he? Remind me.
He's the writer.
He's the
He's the original
writer.
writer for the writer and artist of the original comic.
I've never read the comic. I've only seen the
you
film.
need to.
I know. That's what I've been told because the Crow speaks to my soul. I love The Crow. It's a beautiful film. City of Angels, the City of Angels is not great, but it made me feel super uncomfortable. First of all, Iggy Pop, really?
Yeah, right.
Iggy Pop. Although I will say, rest in peace. I cannot pronounce her name, and I will not butcher it, but the actress who was known for playing the Yellow Ranger.
Twee Trang.
Twee Trang, yes. That was her last
That was her
film.
last movie. She died in a car accident
Yep.
not long after that movie.
Yeah.
1999.
So I try not to put it down too much out of respect for her because that was her last film. And she wasn't bad in it. You know?
That movie had a surprising amount of star power. Mia Kirshner and Thomas Jane. Mm-hmm. I mean, my gosh.
And the actor who played Ash is Marius in Queen of the Damned.
Yes.
So his name is escaping me. But
I know who you're talking about.
yes, City of Angels, though, that whole movie had
Crazy.
this yellow lighting to it. And I'm like, this is making me super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe that was their goal. Anyway, I'm sorry. Who's got a question?
When they gave you the script for Escanor's last part in
Mm-hmm.
Seven Deadly Sins, how did you feel about it?
So when we go into the studio, well, before we go into this, we're not actually given the script. We're reading the script when we're recording, but we don't have time to look over it. So I don't know what Escanor's final lines were, unless, I actually watched the show, because well, sometimes they'll play you, the other character's lines in a scene only if like the actor asks for it or if it's absolutely essential. In this, it wasn't. I mean, it was a very beautiful, very sad moment. But the question or the answer to your question is, I was very sad, and I think I started to tear up in the booth when I realized, like, oh, okay, so this is happening. Well, that sucks, and I do like that Escanor got a little love out of Merlin, before he became the sun god. So, that's what I say, at least. It's a better way of saying it other than, oh, he died, So, but yes, so I was very sad. It was very touching, and I love that scene. And I haven't seen it in a long time, so I definitely want to. And I think did you have me sign a quote from that scene? Yeah. Well, clearly it touched you.
Of course.
Yeah? How did it make you feel?
I was crying for about an hour. And
really?
Yeah. My mom came into my room and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "It was just so beautiful."
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like, especially when parents are like, "Is everything okay?" Are you a parent?
No, not yet.
Okay. So when parents, I'm not a parent either, but I just love when parents are like, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine. I just need a moment." It's like, I totally understand that.
Let me break down.
Let me break down. Let me feel my emotions.
I wasn't going to come to this like whole SacAnime thing because I have to go on a plane tomorrow to go see my brother.
Oh.
And but then I was like reading through everyone who's coming. I was like, "Oh, Ian James, blah blah blah," and then I saw you, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to go."
Oh, thank you so much. That makes me tear up. Where are you flying off to?
Virginia.
Oh my
Virginia.
gosh, that is not a short trip.
There's a 7-hour trip.
Thank you so much, honey, and I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you have a safe trip, and thank you for coming today. Thank you so much.
So my question is, you've worked on like quite a few mature shows like Testament of a Sister Devil and High School DxD. So I guess my question is, what's it like on working on those mature shows and such, and what makes them different from regular ones?
It's not different for me at all. Honestly, it's another job. It's another job, and they're fun shows, and it's just another character that I love to play. So a lot of people seem to think that, well, I can't speak for every actor, but a lot of people seem to think like, oh, Lauren must have been really uncomfortable. No. I'm a very confident woman, and I also know that if I'm not comfortable to do a project, I won't do it. And I also don't really care as much about that as far as, I mean, am I a fan service fan? Not really. I'm not really. Fan service doesn't do anything for me. I care more about story. So, Testament of Sister New Devil, to me, in my opinion, has a lot more story to it. It also has a lot more emotion and a lot more drama to it, which I'm more drawn to that. And Zenobia is a fun character, don't get me wrong, but I just had fun doing it. Yeah, it wasn't difficult for me at all, and I didn't feel uncomfortable. And if I did, then I wouldn't be a part of it, or we would have tried to make it a little different. But yeah, so.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I know that you, according to your website, you play Lorelei in Pokemon Masters EX.
In Pokemon Masters, yeah.
Oh, yes. So, in the voice, so as you voiced that character, were you given did voice directors give you a protocol or some guidelines in pronouncing the franchise's title?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember having to say the title, but honestly, Lorelei was such a small part that I have a hard time remembering it. But, and it was a long time ago. I barely remember what I ate last week. So, but, no, as far as protocol goes, no, I don't think there was any protocol. As far as pronouncing titles or names, we have what are called references. So if a character has to say a certain name, then we'll record them saying it, and then we'll play it for the actor later to get a reference so we can all say it the same way. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
I wonder if there's a rash of mispronouncing the word Pokemon.
Pokemon. Well, you know what? Okay, so actually, this is really, I'm so sorry. This is one interesting fact. So there actually is a wrong way to say it, and there is a right way to say it.
Not
so
Pokemon.
Pokemon is no. Pokemon
Pokemon.
is no. Pokemon is no. It's Pokemon. I only know this because of being a part of that. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was a strict way for them to say it. I thought, well, everybody says it the way they're going to say it, but no, it's Pokemon. And
Better do it
it's
right.
crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
How
Hello.
I say it is Pokemon. I grew up with it. So.
There you go.
Anyway, I'm a huge fan of Kyoto from Magical Girls. So.
Oh, nice.
My question is, were you surprised when you came back as Kyoto as Magic Recording? I was shocked you came back. I thought someone was going to replace you for.
Why would
sure.
somebody replace me?
I don't know.
Exactly.
You got this series was around 2012 and
Who cares?
12 and
I'm still relevant, baby. I'm still here. Ain't nobody gonna replace me.
well, Kyoto is the best.
Kyoko. Yeah. Kyoko is the best. I love Kyoko. I was very happy to come back for that series. Yeah, I was very excited because Alex Von David, who was the original director for Madoka, he loves Madoka.
Oh, wow.
He loves Madoka. He loves the show, and Kyoko is, I think, his favorite. But you know, we always have a great time with Kyoko, and it was just so much fun returning as her, and I was very excited. And I was very excited to see what ended up happening with the rest of that story.
Yeah. They're making a fourth movie, but we don't have any answers.
No, we don't. We don't know anything about that. I have
Yeah.
not heard anything.
Nothing.
It's just a rumor right
It's
now.
just a picture.
Yeah. Until I actually see like, hey, Lauren, we're bringing you in, then I'm like, okay, cool. But until then, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
thank you.
I wanted to ask about Annie.
Yes.
When you...
Don't ask me if she's okay.
No, she's not okay.
She's not okay, but I get that question. So, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? And I'm like, I've never heard that joke in the 10 years that I've been a part of this project ever. How original. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I was just wondering, when you found out, like when, she got all crystallized, she went to bed for 5 years?
About 4 years, yeah.
4 years? Yeah, I was wondering, did you know you were going to come back way later? Or were you like called back and you were like, oh, cool, let's come back?
I'm so glad you asked me this because I want to set the record straight. So listen, for the past 4 or 5 plus years, so many people have been coming up to me and asking me, when's Annie coming back? When's Annie coming back? Hey, do you know if Annie's coming back? Hey, when is Annie getting out of the crystal? Hey, do you know if Annie's coming back? They got to bring Annie back, right? And every time someone asked me that, I never had a response because one, I haven't read the manga, and no, I don't want it spoiled for me. If you spoil it for me, I will be very upset. Don't do that. But I didn't know. But then in 2020, before the started, well, at least before the states went on. I remember I was at an anime convention and I'm getting text messages a bunch in the morning and I'm just like, why is everyone blowing up my phone? And one of my closest friends is a huge Attack on Titan fan. Like she's read the manga, she watches all the episodes. She's the one that like will message me saying, oh girl, you're in for a treat in the next episode. And so she's a big fan of it. And she's like, girl, have you heard the news? And I'm like, I can't talk to you right now. I'm at a convention. Then some guy comes up to me and says, so how does it feel? And I'm like, how does what feel? And he says, well, how do you feel that Annie's out of the crystal? And I'm like,
You son of a...
I was like, Annie's out of the crystal? Annie's out of the, what? Annie's out of the crystal? And he's like, yeah. And he showed me a screenshot from the manga of her, out of the crystal and her like, just kind of waking up and out of it. And then the very famous, where she grabs Hitch and she says, scream and I slice your neck open, and there was that scene and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Oh my God, am I going to get to say that? I still didn't know if the anime was going to do the same thing because there are many different anime shows that don't really go by the manga. They go off base, So I am the kind of person that likes to not get my hopes up because then if you don't get your hopes up, then you're not
You're not
terribly disappointed.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hope. I'm going to hope. And every single time somebody asked me, is Annie coming back? Is Annie coming back? I was just like, just every time it broke my heart a little bit because I was like, I don't know. Because the entire time I was thinking to myself, they can't have a character like Annie. They can't introduce her and then keep her in the crystal and then just forget about her. They can't do that. They just can't, because that would be cruel and terrible storytelling, in my opinion. So I was legit worried that she was just not going to come back. And then I don't remember how I found out. Because then I started watching part 2 of season 4 when the subs started coming out. And then I was watching it. And then I got sick with a cold, and my voice was completely shot because I had just come back from a convention. And it was very much like this, which doesn't sound anything like Annie. And I was very under the weather. And then I get an email from Funimation, and they say, hey, Lauren, we got this new episode coming up. You know, like, it looks like Annie's coming back. Can you record tomorrow? And I'm like, I've waited 4+ years to be called back into the studio for this, and I can't even talk. This is horrible. So I was like, listen, I have been waiting to come back as Annie for a long time. Is there any way that we can reschedule for next week? I will be better next week because my voice will be back. And, because I was expecting, because I didn't know what to expect, but I was expecting, okay, I'm going to come in and Annie's going to say scream and I slice your neck open. And then she's going to say a bunch of stuff, right? Right? That was my assumption. Okay, well then fast forward to a couple days later and I watched the sub episode where she comes back. Has anybody seen the actual episode where she comes back, like legit, like at the end, where she appears at the end of the episode? Does anybody remember what she does at the end of the episode? Like what? What does she do?
Technically, it ends off. It's a little bit different for the manga, but technically,
Sure.
in the anime, it ends off the episode. She's kind of just sitting on the bed.
It just shows her laying on the floor.
Just kind of.
It shows her laying on the floor after breaking out of the crystal, right?
Liquidy and.
And what is she doing? She's just breathing, right?
Coughing.
She's coughing and breathing. Does she have any lines?
Yep.
No.
No, not really.
Not in that episode.
It's just Armin going, she's back.
Exactly. And
So they called you in to go.
they called me in to breathe. And I couldn't go in to breathe because I thought she had dialogue. So I was like, nope, we're going to reschedule it because I literally said to them, you guys don't understand. I have been waiting for this for a long time, and I do not want to sound like crap when all she does is freaking breathe. And I'm like, okay, well, now I've learned my lesson. But anyway, so in a very long-winded answer to your question, I had no idea, and how I felt when she came back was very excited. And I will say, I don't know if it's the episode tomorrow night, but there is an episode coming up where I'm one of those actors that can just easily get into character, and I'm able to separate myself from the character. And if there's an emotional scene, yeah, sometimes I'll feel emotional, sometimes it'll hit me. I can honestly say that there's a scene that's coming up, and again, I don't remember what episode they're on right now, so I don't know when, but there's a scene coming up where it is probably the most raw and the most emotional performance I've ever done in my 15 years of doing this. So if you guys want to hear me sound really, 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 really sad realistically, then definitely check out the upcoming Attack on Titan episodes. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you. And also thank you for killing my character in game.
Well, you were attacking me, so you know. Okay, hi.
It's okay. I was like preparing on what to say.
Good for you. Yes.
Okay. So, you said that you're not very good at answering favorite questions.
No.
But I don't know. I figured.
You're going to ask me a favorite question, aren't you?
Okay. Well, it's pretty general speaking.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
Just give an answer, any answer.
Yeah, any answer. Sorry, yes.
Well, I'm like a fan of Seven Deadly Sins, and so I was wondering, like, what was either like your favorite season or movie to like be in, whether it had like some of your like favorite lines to say, or just like your favorite movie?
Actually, that's an easier question for me because she's like, yeah, see, I knew you could do it, Lauren. Why did you doubt yourself? So I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. I watched Seven Deadly Sins for a couple reasons. One of them is Merlin, because she's just awesome. I mean, it's Merlin. The second reason is Bon. He's the other reason. He's like my main husbando, and I love him so much. Have you seen Bon, what he looks like?
I have not. Really difficult. Like, people suggest stuff all the time, and... Oh, okay. I think I've seen somebody cosplay as that dude.
Yes.
Okay.
Abs.
Abs for days.
And silver hair and red eyes, and I'm all about that. Anyway, so I watch it mainly for Merlin and Bon, and I love the relationship between Bon and Elaine. I love Bon and Elaine. It's so sweet and so pure. So I love any scenes with them, honestly. Like, I love any scenes with them. So I would say probably season 2. And not the OVA, but the actual season 2 is probably my favorite season. Because I'm pretty sure that's when Elaine comes back. I think so. Yeah. So that's my favorite.
So I was wondering, this is a question for my dad. How did you get into voice acting?
Wait, there's a question for your dad?
No, it's from my dad.
From your dad. Is your dad here?
No, I think he left the room.
What? The question's for him, but he's not even going to stick around?
I'm not even going to pay attention. I'm just going to ask a question and just go over here.
You know what? I think he was trying to encourage you to ask a question. That's what I think. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16? He's probably like, you need to practice speaking in front of people. You're 16.
There you go.
I'm actually into acting, so I already do
There you go. Exactly.
He was wondering, how did you get into voice acting?
How did I get into voice acting? Well, I've been an actor my whole life, and one thing that shocks me to this day, truly, how many people don't understand how acting is involved in voice acting. And I'm not even joking when I say that. It amazes me how many people come up to me and say, so how did you get into voice acting? And I'm like, well, I've been an actor my whole life. Really? Well, yeah. Well, first you got to be an actor. Oh, really? You do? What's the second word in voice acting? Oh, I'm not joking you. And it's quite surprising, and honestly, it's a little shocking to me that people don't think about that, because it's like, what do you think voice acting is? Do you think it's just people going in and reading from a script? Because it's not. It's not just doing funny voices. It's not just about copying. Not copying. It's not just about imitating Yoda.
Yoda?
Yoda,
two very different things.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like,
bend your legs, you will.
Exactly. It's not about imitating Yoda. I almost did it again. Yoda or, Sonic the Hedgehog or Fozzie the Bear. It's not about that. It's about creating a voice to perform. Yeah. That's what it is. And if you don't even know that voice acting is an acting career, then why do you want to do it? Why? Like, I don't understand that. Like, it's because to me, I'm an actor and I've been passionate about acting my whole life. And when people ask me, well, I want to get into voice acting, what do you suggest? Well, why do you want to get into voice acting? And sometimes people have legit answers, and some people don't really know how to answer that. And it's like, but do you want to voice act because you want to act and you want to voice act, or do you want to voice act because it's the cool thing? Sorry, I'm really realistic, guys. I'm so sorry, but I'm also kind of, I like to be positive and I also like to be encouraging, but I also like people to think about this because
gotta be real.
Huh?
Gotta be real.
Absolutely. Why would I want to give anybody a false answer? I don't believe in that. So anyway, how I got into acting or voice acting was I've been an actor my whole life. And I just talked about this on an interview, actually. I wouldn't say I believe, I I think things happen for a reason. I do. And I think sometimes we can be steered in directions. And I think that I was honestly steered in this direction throughout my whole life without realizing it. So my father used to work for Disney, and I would go into the studio with him because he would get some promotional work done. And so I got to see the announcers, do their work in the booth. And that always fascinated me as a kid. So that's the first thing. X amount of years later, I was in middle school, and I met the amazing, wonderful Rob Paulson, who's the voice of
Love
Yakko.
Rob.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart.
Rob's an awesome
He's
guy.
so sweet. He was there for my career day at my school. Yeah, I know.
So
and
jealous.
it was in my homeroom. So I walk into my homeroom, and there's this guy setting up a TV, and on the screen is Animaniacs, and I'm like, why are we watching Animaniacs? Now, goes to show you how great of a student I was. I didn't even realize that it was career day, So, and on the board it said voice acting, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool, but what is that? And then Rob started doing all these voices. He started doing Pinky and blah, 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 and all that. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then my teacher steps up and says, all right, class, well, if you signed up for this, then stay here. If not, then you got to go to your next class. I had to leave because
I'm damn it.
I know, right? I was a good kid. I wasn't, I was a good kid, so I was honest, but that always stuck with me. I was like, that would have been so interesting to sit in on. Then the third thing is when I got to college, I was studying theater arts, and I needed to get some general ed courses. And one of them was a voice and diction class. And I thought, okay, well, I have to take 2 semesters of that. So the first semester was with a wonderful professor who he spoke so eloquently, and it was so wonderful to hear him speak. His was more about the diction part, right?
Pronounce and enunciate.
Exactly. So instead of that, it's that. Very particular.
Ooh,
And
can I ask you a question?
yes. I hate you so much right now. It took me a second, and I was like, oh, you did it. And it bugs me every time I hear that. I don't actually hate you, Joe.
I know.
Anyway, so the second semester that I took voice and diction, it was being taught by a woman that was actually a voice actor. And she did voices for Digimon and Scrapped Princess and Wolf's Rain. Does anybody remember Wolf's Rain?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody remember having your heart stomped into a million pieces by watching Wolf's Rain? So anyway, her name is Peggy O'Neill. She's amazing. She's wonderful. I took her course, and about halfway through the semester, I was like, I want to do this. And she said, if you want to do this, you got to put in the work. And she's like, you got to take the right courses, and you got to get in front of people and all of that. And I said, okay. So then that led me to taking a course with a studio that's in Los Angeles called Bang Zoom Entertainment. And I took their class Adventures in Voice Acting. And at the time it was very limited, but it was being taught by Tony Oliver, who is someone that's been in, I know, he's a beautiful human being. He's been in this industry for a long time. He's known for playing Lupin the Third and
He was
Rick
Rick Hunter in Robotech.
Mm-hmm. Rick Hunter in Robotech and so much more characters. Anyway, when I took his course, there was a part in the class where we go into the booth and we get to record for a little bit. And after the course, he asked me to stay behind, and he said, you should be doing this. You absolutely should be doing this. And so I want you to audition for a show in a couple months. And I said, great. And I auditioned, and then I was cast in my first anime, which was Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha. And that's how I got into voice acting. I need to take some water. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a voice actor for a living, but I do talk for a living. And that's definitely something, if you want to communicate with people, especially being a voice actor, you got to act.
Yes.
But you've got to practice talking.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to practice. Being a voice actor, you got to learn how to act. It's a skill like most others, but you've got to do it. You've got to just talk.
Yes. And the other thing,
the diction, the pronunciation of words, making sure you speak properly, unless that's part of your character.
Right. The other thing also is, if you are somebody that is very much like, well, I want to do voice acting because you don't have to perform in front of people. It is far from the truth, my friends. You do have to perform in front of people. You are in a booth. You have to perform for the engineer, for the director, sometimes even for the client. And sometimes there's more than one client. Sometimes there can be 7 people in the room. So if you're thinking, well, I can, I'm too afraid to do stage work. I totally get it, because stage work is terrifying. Oh, I don't want to do movies. Okay, that's fine. I'd rather do voiceover where I can be in a booth. That's fine too. But if you're expecting to not perform in front of people, whether or not they're there or not, that's unfortunately not the reality of things. So that's why I would recommend, because I know somebody's going to ask this, what would I recommend for people who want to get into voice acting? Start in theater. Take theater courses. Start in your local theater. Take improv classes. And then maybe start taking workshops that specialize in voiceover. Voice and diction is great. Performance arts, any performance classes that help you train really do help. So, yeah. Your turn.
The opposite of a favorite question.
Okay.
When voicing Annie, what was your hardest or least favorite line?
I don't have a least favorite line of Annie, but I do have a difficult moment that was very hard to record. There's two, actually. So the first was in the first season as the female Titan, when she screams in the forest for all the other Titans to come eat her. That was one of the hardest screams I've had to do in my career. It was very difficult. And then I had to do something similar for Attack on Titan Junior High. Has anybody seen Attack on Titan Junior High? It's so cute. We call it Titan Babies. But there's an episode, which is one of my favorites. It's a love letter episode where I think, is it Annie or Jean? Does anybody remember? Can somebody help me? Jean, he's dropping love letters in Annie's locker, right? That's right. But it's meant for somebody else. That's right. And Jean, being the person he is so stuck up about it. And he's like, oh, I'm not surprised that Annie likes me. And it's like, but dude, you didn't even notice her before today. Come on. Anyway, there's oh, that's right. Because she's dropping the love letters for the Titan. That's right. So there's a female Titan, not the female Titan, but there's another Titan that has the hots for Jean. And Annie's been helping her friend out by dropping love letters into Jean's locker. And you have no idea what I'm talking about,
nope,
do you?
Never
That's
watched
all
it.
good. That's all good. So it's an excellent show. I highly recommend it. But anyway, so Annie has to summon the Titan. So she has to scream bloody murder. I don't know why that's the only way for her to communicate or to call the Titans, but that's it. Anyway, anytime she screamed as the female Titan was the most difficult for me. So, yeah. Thank you. You look so cute.
When you were handed a script, what was one of the moments when you were reading through it where you were like, oh, goodness. Like, what was, like, the hardest script that you've, like, had to read through? Like, in general.
So I'm going to tell you guys a little secret that you may not know. We don't see the script literally until we're in the booth. I don't get the script ahead of time. So I don't have time I don't get a chance to look over the script. I don't get to see anything in advance, like anything. But what was the follow-up question? Like, what was...
It's like when you were reading the script and you're actually seeing what you have to do, what is one of the moments where your jaw just, like, drops?
Okay, well, in the booth... It was during the last season of Seven Deadly Sins where Merlin kind of turns on people. That was a little shocking for me. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. So definitely that was a shocking moment for me. There was another moment where, again, I wasn't in the booth and it technically wasn't me reading the script. But I was absolutely shocked to find out that Annie was the female Titan. I was absolutely shocked. And people were like, I knew in like the first moment that we saw the female Titan. And I was like, good for you. I thought it was Krista. I thought Krista was the female Titan because she has short blonde hair and she was in the field. She shows up in the middle of the field, a bunch of horses.
They did a good redirect on that.
They did. How do you know? You haven't seen the show.
I've seen Attack on Titan.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Titan Junior.
Oh, I was. Oh, yes. But I meant, yes, that's true.
I have only watched the first season of Attack on Titan.
Girl, you got to catch up. It's so good.
Well, damn, I will.
But yeah, I was absolutely shocked to find out that she was the female Titan. And I was like, because I was just expecting Annie to be done, right? Because she comes in episode 4 And then we don't see her for a minute, and then she disappears again, and then boom, female Titan comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. There's a female Titan. That's really cool. Oh, it's Annie.
You're
oh
like,
my gosh.
it's me.
Yeah, it's me. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question or not. I tried to give you both the booth answer and outside the booth answers. Thank you.
So what's an anime that you watched that you hated?
That I hated. Okay, look. I did not hate this. I didn't hate it. I did not hate it because it was cute. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But Hetalia wasn't my cup of tea. It's a little all over the place for me, but I understand why people love it so much because it is adorable and it's a very clever. Have you seen Axis Powers Hetalia?
No.
It's imagine all the countries, but people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's a very good idea. It just wasn't for me personally. So I wouldn't say I hated it, but I'm trying to think if there was an anime that I hated.
Not one? You'd never watched an anime and felt like you wasted your life watching it?
If I feel like that.
Angel Beats.
If I feel that, I generally will know if I like the show or not within the first 2 or 3 episodes. So luckily, if I don't like it by the 3rd episode, that I'm like, I'm not wasting my life on this.
Yeah,
so
definitely that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, right? Thank you.
Are you female Robin in Fire Emblem Heroes and Warriors?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't know because there's so many female Robins.
There are female Robins. Honestly, I will be 100% honest with you. I don't remember exactly which ones. I just know that I was female Robin. Don't ask me to list which ones exactly because there are so many female Robins. So I could not tell you. I'm so sorry.
No, okay. My question is, Robin has so many elephants in Heroes. Which one do you like the most?
Her werewolf outfit in the
Me
DLC.
too.
Yes! Yes. Air 5, 100%. It's so good. I love werewolves. So.
Werewolves are great.
Oh my God, they're so much fun.
I know.
We need to
you.
hang out.
I know. We absolutely will hang out. Thank you. So Crystal Skull, we don't talk about.
No.
We don't talk about.
We don't talk about Crystal Skull.
About Bruno. No. Okay, sorry. But Temple of Doom, like I said, gave me nightmares.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a whole heart-ripping scene. I mean.
Yeah, and then and then they lift them down into the lava pit.
Yeah, sacrifice them.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, it is really dark. But Short Round was probably the best part of that whole movie.
Kwan. He
Yes.
just came back. He's in everything.
Yes.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. He
Yes.
plays the husband.
He does play the husband.
And he, of course, Data from Goonies. If you've ever seen Goonies.
Who hasn't seen Goonies?
There's a lot of young folk here. You've never seen Goonies?
Right? Are you
Get out.
Get out right now. Are you serious right now?
You're old enough to have seen Goonies. Come on.
Has Rye seen Goonies? Y'all are in trouble.
I know. I mean, there's a
who
huge
raised you?
huge coming of age education in 80s movies, and Goonies is one of them.
Who raised you? Why did they hurt you? Why? Goonies, man. How can you go wrong with Goonies?
Sean Astin, Corey Feldman, Kei Kwan, Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Oh my God.
He was cute. I mean, he still is. He still is. He's Thanos.
Yeah,
you know.
he's Thanos, but I mean,
He's Thanos, but Goonies never say die.
Such a great movie.
And Chunk. You can't
Chunk.
forget Chunk.
Yeah,
And
do the truffle shuffle.
Do it! I love that movie so much. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
I will watch it when it comes on TV.
Yes.
And I'm a huge fan of Robert Davi. I love Robert Davi, and he plays one of the Fratelli brothers along with Joe Pantoliano.
Oh, which
They were the
Fratelli
two
brother?
brothers.
No,
They were
I
the
know,
two-
but which
yeah.
brother? Which
he
brother
was the
it?
taller, skinny one.
The one that's in the jail cell?
The one that was singing.
Oh, that one, yes. I love it. I love the woman that plays Mrs. Fratelli.
Oh, my
Because
God.
apparently she was really nice, and she's such
and
a
she
horrible-
always played such a mean woman. She
Yes.
played Billy Crystal's mom in Don't Throw Mama from the Train.
I've never
Or no,
seen that.
Danny DeVito's mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can
Don't-
see that.
Don't Throw Mama from the Train. She plays her, and yeah, she's so sweet. She's like an incredibly nice woman, but she always played these horrible, evil women.
It's so great.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have any questions for me, Joe?
No, I'm just enjoying this right
I
here.
know,
This is cool.
right?
I love the banter.
I'm a huge, big movie buff,
Oh.
and I just, whenever I hear that someone hasn't seen a really popular movie, I'm just like, really? And I shame them.
I keep a folder of about 24 movies on my laptop. It's
Yeah.
called Permanent Fixtures. It's movies I can watch whenever, like Quick and the Dead.
I've never seen it.
Russell Crowe, Sharon Stone, Leonardo DiCaprio, Gene Hackman, Keith David, Lance Henriksen.
That's a crazy cast right there.
It's a western.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's all about a gunfight. Mark Mark Boone is in it as well. He's
Wow.
from Sons of Anarchy.
I love Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy are great. You know what's really funny? I say that I love Sons of Anarchy once in an interview about 10 years ago, and now it's on my page. Sons of Anarchy fan, and I'm like, okay. But I haven't. I've tried to get into Mayans. I can't really get into it.
I gave it a shot. I was like, Sons of Anarchy is like over.
It's
the
really
the hype's done. I didn't like the way the show ended.
I don't.
I understand why it ended the way it did, but
well, it's basically Hamlet. It's
Yeah.
basically Hamlet on bikes, so of course they had to have some Shakespearean ending to it. But yeah. I just my father's the one that introduced so many good movies to me, like The Godfather.
Yes.
Love The Godfather. A lot of people like The Godfather Part 2 over Part 1, but I'm much more of a Part 1 person.
I gotta go with Part 2 personally.
because
we
it
don't
goes
talk
back
about
and
Part
forth.
3.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I want to do. Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's actually going to be a documentary coming out pretty soon about the making of The Godfather. Actually, fun fact, Marlon Brando was known to be kind of a prankster behind the scenes. And so if you've seen The Godfather, after The Godfather gets shot, spoiler alert, but it's been out for 50 plus
50 years.
So they have to carry him up a flight of stairs in one of those... It wasn't
Stretcher?
it wasn't a stretcher. It was like one of those old-fashioned
Wheelchair?
No, it was like a cot. I want to say it was kind of like a cot.
Okay.
So they carry him up. Maybe it was a stretcher, but maybe it was an old-fashioned. Anyway, so they carry him up the stairs, and between takes, apparently Marlon Brando sliced open the bottom of the cot and put rocks in it, so it would be way heavier. So they start rolling and they just start carrying it up the stairs, and the guys are like, "Why is this so heavy? What the heck?" And then in the very first scene of The Godfather, it's the Godfather, I come to you for help, blah blah blah, and you see Marlon Brando playing with a cat in his lap. Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Godfather, just seriously put the cat in his lap, and the cat just fell in love with Marlon Brando, so he was just playing with him. That was all natural. And then Luca Brasi, the actor who played Luca Brasi, when he comes in and he says, "Don Corleone, I've come to you on the day of your daughter's wedding," that was 100% real. That was not supposed to happen, and they kept it in because it looked so good. And then in the scene where Al Pacino and his girlfriend,
oh gosh,
Diane Keaton, when they're introduced, you see Luca Brasi in the background rehearsing his speech. That was real, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna catch this." That was the actor that was actually practicing his lines. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I love behind the scenes trivia stuff like that.
Some
it's
of that
great.
stuff's pretty cool.
It's great. And of course, you have Part 2 with Robert De Niro and hey, I don't want to fight with you. You just, I'm a big movie buff. What do you want?
Oh.
On the day of my daughter's wedding.
Come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Yes. Oh my God, Zootopia. By the way, for those of you who haven't seen the show Beastars, that's another show that I'm in, and myself and Jonah Scott and Griffin Puatu are all here from Beastars. It's basically Zootopia, but for adults. And Zootopia is so cute. I love how the Godfather is a little rat.
Yeah.
He is so cute. Hey, come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. It's so cute. Oh my God. It's so cute. It's so cute. Anyway, yes. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Give a big
Thanks,
round of applause to Lauren, everybody. Yay!